Well, hello there, my lovelies, and how the devil are you all? I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm doing an ocean tray. I know, exciting, right? I've been wanting to do one of these for so long. The tray's from B&M and it was £7, and I decided initially to paint. I kind of got into painting recently, and I thought I would paint a beach using a few different colours, like white and burnt umber mainly, and a little bit of gold. And I was trying to create like when you walk on a beach and the tide is out and there's all these beautiful sort of wavy patterns where the tide has been on the sand. And then I thought, that looks rubbish. Why don't I just use the colour of the tray? Duh. So that's what I decided to do. And so with resin, because it goes everywhere, you do need to seal wood because otherwise you will have bubbles galore. So I used just bog standard PVA glue with a little bit of water in it, probably about 20%. And I did about 3 layers, making sure that it dried in between each layer. Now 300 millilitres, that's what all of that was about. It's about 300 millilitres I used, and I used all of these beautiful colours from Resin. So 3 pastes and 2 transparents, all in blues and greens, and and a few other ingredients. So those were mylar flakes, those are just some mini shells, and this moss, which I totally forgot about, but that would have been good, and and those bits of the little tray thing I showed you was actually of old bits of resin that I've peeled off plastic and pulled out of cups and that kind of thing. So I was trying to sort of reuse some of it, because honestly it's building up so much. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it all, but I can't bear to throw it out. And then the 2 little triangles you can see are actually like little stones from aquatic tanks, that kind of thing. You can get some really pretty stones. I forget where I got them from. But I know that Resin Supplies Den have a beautiful range. I think the lady you need to speak to there is Meg. So Resin Supplies Den is on Facebook, and go tell them I say hi. And then here I'm taking the old bits of resin. I thought it would sort of add a bit of depth and hopefully save save me having to mix up too much resin. I'm just taking a handful, trying to crush it up as small as possible, because everything you want on this tray is to be as flat as possible, because otherwise you'll have to use more resin to cover it over. And so I'm starting off with the darker colour. Isn't that just beautiful? And honestly, I had so much fun making this. It was just really hypnotic, and I just got completely lost in the flow. So I'm putting the darker colour in, so I think that's the deep blue sea. And then this is the turquoise. Oh, such a beautiful colour. Oh my goodness. And I'm kind of stringing it down the tray, and not being too careful about where I'm putting it, because I'm hoping that all the colours will kind of merge together a little bit. As you see in the sea, you don't get sort of definite blocks of colours, do you? Now this is probably a mixture of the deep blue and the green, and I've also put some of the mylar flakes in this concoction, and then finally I'm adding some clear on the edge, and just trying to fill it up a bit. I know that I am going to need to do another layer on this. And then here I go with the waves. Now I haven't done waves for quite a while. Now this concoction is just the paste, the white paste, and I didn't get as many cells as I would have liked. So the next coat, I did actually add in some alcohol ink. But regardless, I think it does give a good effect. Everybody gets so hung up on trying to get cells. And yes, cells are nice, but you can sort of buy things like, well, you can put silicone treadmill oil in. I have achieved cells before by using a mix of the paste and alcohol ink. I think you've just got to go a little bit careful on the paste, is my recollection, but I'm no expert. I've only done this a few times. So what I've learnt from this particular experience is really, I wish I'd just done one big thick line to start off with, on an angle, on a few angles. So if you go to the beach, you look at the waves coming in, they don't all come in, very evenly. Very often you'll get currents and from different directions. And so I wish I'd done one big wave kind of on the angle, and then another one kind of coming straight to the shore or something, and then maybe done one or two moving backwards. But I didn't do that. I did not do that, ladies and gentlemen. But I had fun, which is the main thing, and it looks okay. So I'm not mad at it at all. I'm actually really super pleased with how it came out. But you do learn something from every pour, don't you? So here's me sort of pouring in as much, trying to find as much of the clear as I possibly can to get it in the tray. So I'm literally scraping out everything that I can find, but there's nowhere near going to be enough. And I do spend a bit of time, mostly off camera, trying to get what is, the bits of resin, the old bits of resin, to sit as flush as possible on the bottom of the tray. And some bits that I think are just going to be way too big, I'm just picking out. And then there is more waves. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my Live Lovelies, there are more waves. So if you're here for waves, then you're in the right place, because there are lots and lots of waves. Maybe too many waves, I would argue. But there's just so much fun to create, I just couldn't stop. I don't know if you've noticed, I have absolutely no self-control with this stuff. And it really is hypnotic. Now, another tip that I do have for you is that you do have to go a little bit easy on the heat. If you add too much heat onto the waves, then it can turn yellow, a yellowy colour, which is not so pleasant. And all of the tutorials that I've seen about creating waves is basically heat it up a little bit, maybe a little bit of torch, and then leave it and let it do its thing. So that's what I did, and I am pleased with the results. So you can see here, this is a bit later on, and I'm getting a bit more confident with how much white I'm adding on. And let's just say it's a very frothy sea. But I do actually really like the old bits of resin that are in the sea, because it does make it look like a stormy sea, and it does add a bit more depth, another dimension to it all, which is what we're trying to create here, is depth and dimension. Yeah, so I did speed this up, and fingers crossed. And what I did do in a previous video was actually do what I'm doing here, which instead of actually blowing it around, so this is another technique, is actually just wafting it around. If you've got a thin resin, these are good with thin resins, thinner viscosity, because you can just kind of draw them in and swirl them around a bit rather than even adding any heat at all. So that's another technique. I mean, these are abstract pieces and you can pretty much do what you want, which is why I love resin, because it doesn't have to look like the real thing. So we're just going to go to a demold, as it were. Oh, hello there, it's day 2 and this has cured just beautifully. Really pleased with it so far. There is a little bit of work that needs to be done, as with everything I do. But yeah, I think it almost looks like stormy water, doesn't it? But I like that, you know, a little bit of the, you know, of the tray underneath is showing. It is, there are still some bits poking up through it, and I don't mind. I quite like having the little bottle. Let me see if I can get it to focus. The little bottle here. Can you see? I don't mind that that's poking up because it'll be at the side, but the rest needs to be fairly flush. So what I've done is I have just taken some snips like this, and I've just literally snipped off the top, get it the right way around, snipped off the top of anything poking up, and then I'm going to give it a bit of a sand, and then I'm going to pour another layer on top, and then I think this will be done. I might do, let me see if I can shut this light off. There we go. I might see if I can oh, I've forgotten my train of thought. Can't have been that important. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'm quite mesmerised by this. Yeah, I'll do another coat on top and try and get it all level, and I might do some more waves. That's what I was going to say. We got there eventually, people. All right then. So I will be back and switch to voiceover. Okay, bye. Well, hello again. How are you guys? Okay, so I am spraying a bit of isopropyl alcohol on here, and I'm just cleaning it off because I have given it a bit of a light sand. It's important when you're top coating or adding different layers that you do give it a little bit of a sand. You don't need to spend too long on it. Just give it a light sand, just so the next layer has got something to grip onto it. Obviously and of course I'm getting a notification. I'm sorry about that, but this happens every time I do a voiceover. So I'm showing you the pastes that I'm using. So I've got the white paste from Resin got Pinata, Blanco, and earlier I showed you the silver paste from Resin. I'm also using my old favourite acrylic ink from Magic Ink, and this is Gamma Green. This is such a lovely colour, and it's perfect for seascapes, tropical seascapes. As you can see, it just adds a little bit of a colour. So you can still see the layer below. So the idea is that I will have clear resin, then the Magic Ink Gamma Green, and then a little bit of the dark blue transparent, and then I do go in at the end, I think, with some oh, there we go, and then I think I might even go back in with an opaque light darker blue at the end, just adding a bit more clear to this, and then I go in with my heat tool. I don't want to go with Helga at the moment, just because she's a bit much, you know, she's a bit full on. And Helga is my heat gun, by the way, for those of you who don't know. And yes, my heat gun does have a name, and she does have entrance music as well, but no one suggested any. So if you do want to suggest some and join me in my madness, then please do. So I'm just doing a few more last waves because I absolutely adore doing this. And I'm aware that I have gone a little bit over the top with the waves, but I don't really mind. It's turned out really beautifully in my view. And yes, that's really it. There's just literally more waves, and then I do muck around a little bit more, trying to add some more clear as well. Now this mixture has got the paste, the white paste and the alcohol ink, but I still think that I added too much paste. It was too concentrated with the paste. So and very often when you're creating waves as well, it's good to add a little bit of clear and then your mixture of whatever you decide to make your waves out of. So yes, and like I say, even if you don't get too many cells, which I didn't, it's still super effective. And yeah, I'm really super pleased. And then here I think I've mixed up a little bit of really opaque, like the deep blue sea, I think, possibly. Or it might even be a navy mica. I don't know. Anyway, it's a dark colour, and there it is. And I promise you, we're going to be going to the pictures now. Aren't they beautiful? So these are the final pictures of the tray, and I do want to thank each and every one of you for sticking with me, and yeah, just commenting and liking. It really makes so much difference. And before I forget to mention it, I do have a shop as well. Everything I make on the channel is for sale, and the link's in the banner. Okay, love you guys, bye.